my name is Lisa Walker. I am an artist who is currently based in so-called British Columbia, Canada. And I just wanted to do like a little intro video to help you get to know me a little bit, tell you a little bit about my story, and to show you a piece of artwork that I just finished recently. So yeah, I'll just kind of be talking kind of informally as if I'm just talking to a friend or a small group of people. I just wanted to do like a short artist talk. So yeah, Yauts, Lisa Kalasu Nugwa, Gigitsog Nugwa, Andrew Du Carol Walker, Wee Acklins. Hi, my name is Lisa. I am Haisla Nation from Kitimat, BC. Andrew and Carol Walker are my parents. I was born up north in Kitimat and went to school there and left pretty much right away when I graduated. And I moved to Kamloops, BC to do a fine arts diploma, and then transferred to Emily Carr in Vancouver to finish up my bachelor's degree, and I majored in photography. And yeah, and then I kind of spent the last decade working in sort of arts and cultural administration, trying to do reconciliation work before we even were using the word reconciliation. So it was really challenging and really soul-sucking, and it just really like drained me. And it kind of drove me into like a bit of a depression for a while, and I kept trying to continue, and eventually I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I spent about a decade doing that, and just in the past 5 years I returned to beading, which is what I'm doing full time. And I learned how to bead about 15 or more years ago now from a woman from Six Nations. Prudence is knocking the phone stand. Can you not do that, please? Okay. Do you want to come up? Okay. Classic Prudence. Now I'm gonna have to edit my video, Prudy. Oh my god, you're gonna knock it over. Come on. You're gonna knock it over. Okay. This is Prudence. She's my assistant. She's my boss. She's my part-time model. And I often use her as the backdrop of my earrings. So I have like a built-in fur backdrop that if she's in the right mood, I can take photos on her belly. Okay, so I learned how to bead in my early 20s from a woman from Six Nations, and super grateful to her for teaching me. But I didn't really have the patience back then to really sit down and make stuff. So it just sort of stayed in my brain for a long time, and then in my early 30s I returned to it, and it just really pulled me out of a really dark place and kind of reminded me who I am and why I make art, and yeah, it just really helped me heal. And so yeah, so now I'm beading every day, and I'm also someone who lives with various chronic pain issues, which is what my last art project was about, that I'm gonna spend a little bit of time just showing you a couple pieces. But I was trying to explore like the intersection between chronic pain and intergenerational trauma, and just sort of how it feels to be an Indigenous woman with hard to diagnose pain navigating Western medicine, you know? It's really challenging and infuriating, and you know, it's been going on for a really long time now. And so yeah, I wanted to make a project that just sort of explores all of that and tries to kind of work from a holistic point of view and like reframe some of those experiences and like offer comfort to my past self and also to my ancestors who have probably been through similar experiences. And I just completed this project about a week ago. I've been working on it for the past 3 or 4 months, and Prudence, can you please not do that? Yeah, so I've been working on it for the past 3 or 4 months, and it was really, really hard. It was really, really hard. Mainly because I'm like realizing that beading is kind of an escape for me, and it was really hard to focus on can you please stop? Prudy, please. I'm trying to be serious right now. Yeah, because beading is like an escape for me, right? So, oh god. I have to refilm this pretty. So it was just hard to focus on these really hard and like frustrating feelings while also processing them and trying to bead from them. So maybe I'll just show you a couple examples of what the project is. So I'm sure maybe you've seen this online before, but this is one of the canvases. So it's a photo that I took of like a hospital waiting room. That I really like these colors, and I remember thinking like while I'm sitting there to do an exam, like, oh, I really like these colors, I want to bead with them, and just how like comforting that was to feel a little bit more of myself in a space where I usually feel like an alien or a nuisance or like I'm lying. So yeah, I tried to bead right onto the canvas. So I kind of experimented with flat stitching, which is something I've been trying to dabble with. By flat stitching, I mean like actually sewing in these beads straight onto the canvas. Normally I do like fringe work, and flat stitching is like just such a different technique. It's like surprising how different it is from fringe beadwork. And I also tried to incorporate words in my language. I don't know if you can see them all. Just as a way to try and like communicate with myself and with my ancestors. The words translate to like pain and afraid and yeah, so I was just really trying to like create a connection with my culture and these kind of jarring moments where I feel so alien, you know? and just trying to like add my beadwork in as a way to place myself into these moments in a more like genuine and holistic way, and also to like convey like the pain. That's kind of what I was trying to do with like these black and red colors. Was just really try to like explain the feeling of like, yeah, I'm trying really hard to fit in. I'm trying really hard to like say all the things in the right way, but I'm also in like deep pain and sadness and depression and anxiety, and it's really hard for me to mask that. So I just tried to like express that in the way that made the most sense to me, and I found it like super cathartic to make these pieces. I also included like different crystals like labradorite and onyx, kind of as a way to like add an element of like protection and like communication. There's also copper, as more like protection, in this kind of way of like trying to communicate with like my past self and my future self and my ancestors and like anybody else that goes through these kind of things, just to offer like some affirmation and some protection, because I know that living with chronic pain is like super challenging and can be like so lonely and so isolating. I just tried to create work that helps you feel less alone in these moments. I also made some beaded, like wearable beadwork that, this one specifically was trying to convey that like sense of pain, that kind of constant pain that is always with me and with others that live with chronic pain. Just this sort of like dark and mysterious thing that's always with you. These are earrings that will be displayed with the canvases. Maybe available for sale at some point, but not until I find a way to display all the work together. These also contain like labradorite and copper and carnelian, and onyx and moonstone, and some other kinds of crystals, just to sort of add more depth and more like energy to these kind of pieces. That's these ones. And then I just want to show one more canvas and one more pair of earrings. This is another piece that I made. This was kind of the image that I had in mind when I started this project. This is in a room where I would go to do an ultrasound. That's what that machine is, and the bed where they put you on. And like for me, ultrasounds are something I have to do like regularly, and they're absolutely awful every time. They're really bad, really painful, really like emotional. Like I usually like end up crying because they're just so painful and like alienating, and the tech person is always, I don't know, clueless about what they're doing and how I feel, and just, I don't know, how much trauma goes along with these kind of exams. So I just really wanted to like express these feelings and like, kind of like release that emotion in a way that feels authentic to me, and in a way that I'm trying really hard to like express those feelings in a way that hopefully other people can like identify with. So yeah, again, this is supposed to represent like pain and, you know, blood, and just like how much I need to process before, during, and after these kind of events. And again, I've written words in Haislekala all around this room. And yeah, it's a really heavy thing for me, and it does feel cathartic to finish something like this, but it was also like just really hard. Just really hard. And I hope that other people can see these kinds of images and like feel less alone in these moments, you know? Because I know it's a common experience. So yeah, that's that piece. And then I also tried to bead an image of that actual same room. So that's like the ultrasound machine, and the white part is the bed, and the two little windows up top. And then the red and black and the crystals at the bottom to just kind of represent like the way emotions and pain and trauma and everything seems to just sort of pour out of this scene for me. And again, these are earrings that someone could wear, and they will be displayed hopefully at some point with this project. So yeah, that's those guys. And often like people ask me like how long it takes to bead these kind of things, and it really depends. Like there's something like this, I think this probably took me like 10 or more hours to like get this right. I did make like a rough pattern, like I kind of sketched it out with like the number of beads for each little section. But yeah, they took me quite a long time. And like these probably about the same, like they just, you know, I try to like count them up to make sure that the like color blobs line up properly. So yeah, usually like 8 or more hours for like a big abstract pair like that. Kind of depends. I think this one has probably like 30 different bead colors, but for example, like a pair like this has, I think, about 100 different beads in it. So I lay them all out on a bead mat, and I just slowly count. Prudence is being really disruptive during this. I just like slowly count each one to make sure that it kind of lines up to create this pattern. So these I don't pattern out ahead of time. I just like go on vibes. Just like I have a reference photo of the Eagle Nebula that I like put up on my phone, and then I just sort of set it down next to me and try to work from that. And yeah, these are pieces that I make probably about once a year, and they're really big earrings. You can see there's like a few others behind me here. And the idea behind these is, the word is gaktema, which means universe. And the idea behind them is sort of like imagining indigeneity in the future. So it's like indigenous futurism. Like, what does the world look like in 100 years when indigenous people are leaders, are like leading the way, and indigenous ways of knowing are being valued highly the way that colonialism and white supremacy is valued right now? Like, what do our futures look like when indigenous ways of knowing are normalized and put into practice, you know? So these are kind of full of like a lot of hope and a lot of like acknowledgement of like the wisdom that Indigenous land stewardship and science and, you know, every Indigenous way of knowing is so obviously like since time immemorial, like we've been around for a really long time. And yeah, so it's just supposed to acknowledge that. These are usually really popular. They tend to like sell pretty quick, and they're generally like my most requested thing, but they take so much time and energy, so I don't want to like burn myself out, and I want to make them when I'm in like a really excited place to make them. So yeah, they're just like really special to me, and these ones are gonna most of what you see up here is coming with me to Toronto Indigenous Fashion Arts Festival the end of this month, actually. So these will be displayed and hopefully purchased at their market there. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And yeah, I think that's really what I wanted to like share in this video. I try really hard to use my language when I'm naming things, kind of as a way to learn it and also to like meditate on it and like repeat it over and over again. I try to like use online resources. My nation has a website with like a SoundCloud and stuff, so I can like listen to people saying the words, and I can listen to like recorded elder stories and stuff, which is really special and really wonderful. So even though I'm like far away from home, I still feel connected, and my beadwork is kind of an extension of that, where I just try to like stay grounded in myself and just try really hard to like let all these words like sink in. And sometimes when I think about it, it's like amazing how many words have really stuck in my head. Yeah, so I'm really just grateful to beadwork, and I'm grateful to this community of supporters and just like really kind and empathetic people who have been so incredibly supportive of me over the past like 5 years. Like, yeah, I just never, you know, I always wanted to be an artist, and I just like never thought it would be possible this way, because, you know, I'd like sell a piece here and there, but I never dreamed I could have this as my job. And so I'm just like I feel emotional thinking about it, because I'm just really like living my dream, and it is really because of like everybody who supports me. Like, I wouldn't be able to focus all my time and energy onto this stuff without all of my like just incredible support. I feel so lucky that my work sells to people that want to buy it. Like, it still blows my mind, and it's been like 5 years of me doing like small sales a couple times a month, and I'm just like, wow, people are still buying it. Like, it's still happening. I really don't want to take it for granted, and I feel so thankful that I got to do this art project, and it just really feels like letting something go and like communicating it in a way that makes me feel less alone in the world, you know? And yeah, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for the support of First Peoples Cultural Council, who I applied for a grant to do this project, and I got a grant for it. So I was really able to like focus and buy all the supplies I needed, and yeah, just feeling that sort of validation and support from a grant is incredible. It's like super helpful. And hopefully I will have a show of these pieces at some point in the future. I'm gonna start looking over the summer and applying for shows. So I'll definitely update on my social media and stuff if that happens. I'm also gonna create like a permanent place on my website with the images of these pieces and all the canvases. I think there's 8 in total. So I'll have a photo of each canvas and like a little write-up about it, so you can go and read about it there if you want to. I also have like everything on my Instagram. I did some updates along the way while I was doing this project, and there's a lot of people in the comments talking about their experiences, and it's really what I hoped would happen with this project, is that it would create dialogue and like kind of a space for people to share their experiences too. So feel free to go check that out. My Instagram is lisa.beading. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post this on YouTube or Instagram yet, so I'm just gonna try and figure that out after I finish filming it. I'm sorry that Prudence was really annoying and disrupted a lot of this, but that's how it goes. So yeah, lots queeth, thank you, and Alcho, thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate your support, and thank you for watching this video if you made it all the way to the end of my weird rambling. I just wanted this to be like a conversation and not really like a formal artist talk or whatever. So yeah, I really appreciate you being here with me, and thank you so much for spending time with me. Okay, take care. Escuelas.